Well, I didn't think I'd be talking about an actual trade prior to Game 6 of Philadelphia versus Atlanta and Utah versus the Clippers. I mean, I didn't think I'd be talking about anything at 2:30 a.m. over here. I thought I'd be sleeping, but we got a trade. Not officially, but Woj said it so. I mean, it is official, and who else would kick things off than Sam Presti? And I'm convinced he doesn't care about the trade, really. I think he just wanted to scratch this itch, this addiction he has, because I don't know if you guys have watched the film The Burning. It's a Korean film. Steven Yeun's in it, and basically Steven Yeun's character, spoiler alert coming ahead, but basically every 2 months he says he needs to burn down a greenhouse because it's something that he just needs to do. He thinks they're useless, they take up space, he wants to get rid of them. Spoiler alert, again, skip 10 seconds ahead if you don't want to see this, but spoiler alert, he's a psychopath and he kills people. The parallels to Sam Presti? Well, I mean, he's a psychopath that stores first round picks instead of killing people. Difference? I mean, there's a slight difference, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. What am I trying to make? I'm trying to say that Sam Presti, he was always going to be the guy to get a first round pick for someone that was just an all-star the year before, for someone that looked like the worst contract in the league the year before in Al Horford. That's what he's done. So he's managed to get Kemba Walker and a first round pick for Al Horford and Moses Brown, who we should not forget because he's someone who I think is really promising. He also signed a contract, a really friendly one off memory, and he's going to be a good pickup for the Celtics as well. It's a win-win trade for both teams, and let me just cover the Celtics. Actually, before I even do that, if you could drop a like on the video, as I said, I'm sacrificing sleep. I won't be asleep for a while now, so if you could drop a like on the video, it helps out a ton. It would be much appreciated. Also, subscribe to the channel for daily content. That would be cool. But as I was saying, let's just get the Celtics thing out of the way because I am more intrigued personally in OKC's side of things. I just think they're an intriguing team right now, particularly with the moves Presti is making. It just intrigues me, I'll say that. But the Celtics side, I mean, it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. You've got someone in Marcus Smart. Jason Tatum can be a ball handler. You've got enough ball handlers. You had enough ball handlers last year when you had Gordon Hayward on top of this. Jaylen Brown's going to take another leap as a playmaker. Jason Tatum is, and Marcus Smart is a more than capable ball handler. And, well, Brad Stevens knows these guys. He knows these guys very well. So he knows what these guys are capable of. And if he thinks they've got enough ball handlers, then, I mean, he's probably right, because he's a pretty good coach who is now a general manager, and first order of business was to ship Kemba Walker off and bring back probably one of his more favourite players and someone who loves the Celtics, Al Horford. And talking about Horford, great fit. I mean, he's still a good center. People are talking about he's washed. He's 35. He is 35. He does have a bad contract. Let's not forget that. I feel like let's not get lost in that. But in terms of just as a contract, not looking at the players, it is a better contract than Kemba's. It also decreases every single year, and I think in the last year of the deal, it's somewhere around $15 million. It's quite cheap relative to what Kemba's getting paid, so it's not too bad. And in terms of as a player, he can still stretch the floor. Might be coming off the bench behind Robert Williams, but the way Brad Stevens was hesitant to play Robert Williams all season long, I mean, it's going to be a new coach, but he might play starting. We don't know, but he's going to be in the rotation. Moses Brown, I don't know if there's really a spot for him. I like him. Whether you package him up to another team with the likes of someone like a Langford and stuff, or maybe someone else, that could be something for the Celtics down the line. But in general, not too many complaints about this if you're a Celtics fan. You've got enough ball handlers. Kemba was bad in the playoffs. He is struggling with knee issues. He's not entirely healthy. And if you're the Celtics, you get a position of need. That's what matters for you. You're looking for positions of need rather than strictly looking at the talent, which I think Kemba is probably still a more talented player. But in terms of what could help your team more, Al Horford does that. So that's what you're seeing with the Celtics. Then talking about the Thunder side of things, this is fascinating for a number of reasons. As I said, Sam Presti is probably a psychopath. That's probably been confirmed by me just there by my conspiracy theory. But he's also someone who makes these heavy IQ plays that consistently work out. And he's now got 18 first-round picks over the next 7 years. 18 of them. That's more than 2 a year. He's got 3 of them this year and 2 early second-round picks. That could actually be 4 first-round picks if the Rockets pick conveys to them. And they've got a lot of talent. I mean, Zion and Luka, did someone say those guys aren't happy? 18 firsts for those two guys? Who says no? Probably both of those teams, because the Pelicans are trying to stay in New Orleans, so they probably say no. But OKC, they're going to be up to something soon. But just looking at Kemba, there's a few different ways this could go. A lot of people are saying Kemba's immediately going to get shipped off. They're going to get a first-round pick back. that could happen. And you could look at a team like the Pelicans, actually, with Zion. I don't think this is the perfect fit for them, but David Griffin's an idiot. I'll tell you that right now, that free of charge. David Griffin is an idiot. He could definitely make a trade like this and get rid of Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, and a couple of picks or something for Kemba, because those two are terrible contracts. I mean, OKC knew that when they got rid of Steven Adams. David Griffin did not. As I said, he is an idiot. So you could get something out of the Pelicans or another team with bad contracts, switch Kemba over there and take a first round pick in response. But I think more likely, in my opinion, would be that the Thunder keep hold of Kemba. They keep him for a year, maybe a couple of years if he continues to play well. This is a team that I don't think they need to tank. As I said, they've got so many picks going forward from other teams that their success isn't really going to change a lot of these draft picks. Obviously, if they tanked another year and got another top pick, that would be dandy. But you've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, him alone, alongside Lou Dort, alongside Darius Bazley, alongside probably a top pick, which could be Cade Cunningham, it could be Evan Mobley, it could be Jalen Green, it could be any of those guys, alongside one of those elite young players. That's going to be too good to tank. You're not going to be the worst team in the league, evidenced by the fact they weren't the worst team in the league before Shai got injured. But that kind of also speaks to another thing that I want to say, just speaking about Shai. He has been injured. He did have plantar fasciitis, and I think that's a stress-related injury. I know it's around the ankle, it's around the foot. He is someone that did everything for this Thunder team before he got injured. He was unbelievable. I think he's an all-star level player. I think he could be one of the best players in the league very soon. He's legit. He's a legitimate star, which is why I also think that they're not going to be the bottom team that some people think they could be. No, if you've got Shai, if he's healthy, you're not at the bottom. He's legitimately that good, so we have to make that very clear. But he did have plantar fasciitis. How long he's going to be out, how bad the injury is, having someone like Kemba to take some of the responsibility off him, because as I said, 90% of his points were unassisted, I believe. It was the highest mark in the NBA, or the second highest behind Luka. It was in that category. It was right up the top in terms of all of his points were unassisted. He was driving to the rim just about more than anyone in the league. He was taking a lot of contact. He was doing a lot. He had a heavy load, and he's not someone who slacks on defense either. So he had a heavy load for someone in just his third year, and he's legitimate first year as a first option. So getting him some help, getting him some ball handling presence. Kemba, he's going to space the floor. He's a good veteran guy. He smiles a lot. That counts for something. And also, Kemba's still a good player. Is he a great player? No. Is he an all-star level player? I mean, maybe. Probably, well, in the West, no. Let's make that clear. In the West, he is not, but he's still a good player. And even looking at the second half of his season, in which he only played 23 games, he was 25-4 on pretty good efficiency, and I think that's where you could expect him to be, somewhere around that 18 to 20 mark. He's going to shoot 36% from three, he's going to be around 43 to 44% from the field, and he's going to provide some playmaking alongside Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's what you want. Now, I could be saying all of this for nothing, because in one day time, it could be reported that Kemba Walker has been traded for something else, and that this doesn't matter. But I also think there is a good chance that they keep Kemba for all the right reasons. Good locker room guy. You get Shai some help. This is a team that they don't need to desperately tank. They've got the high-end draft talent. They've got someone coming in potentially through the door that could be a top 3 or 4 pick, a really talented player. Shai's really talented. Darius Bazley. They've already got other guys on this roster already, plus all the picks going forward. I don't think they're desperately needing to tank. If they make the playoffs this year, which they could do because they're a competitive team, particularly if they add Kemba Walker, I don't know if they will. I'm not getting into that. But if they make the playoffs this year, I don't think that's something that they'd be mad at doing. I think they're getting the experience into their young guys, and they're still going to have the future on wraps. Don't worry about that. And getting back to the last thing that I forgot to mention about this Kemba Walker trade, you could also package Kemba and a couple of those picks for a big splash. The Thunder are inevitably going to make a big trade at some point, whether it happens this year or next year or in a couple of years. At some point, they are trading some of those first round picks for something legitimate. Now, Sam Presti won't be light with it. He won't just be sparingly throwing this away. He'll be keeping an eye on every team and trying to analyze which of those teams are going to give up the best future picks based off where they are. But at some point, he's going to package up some of them and get Shai and whoever else is on this team some legitimate help, because that's going to be a fact. That's just going to happen. You want to get your best players the help they need, and he's going to pull the trigger at some point in time. He's loading up the war chest to unleash it. He's not sticking around to 2030, just stockpiling picks and doing nothing. That's going to happen eventually, so that is the other option. There's a few options with this, and that's why I like this for the Thunder. It's just a fascinating situation in OKC. Sam Presti's a fascinating guy with everything he's doing, just stockpiling first-round picks. You've got a lot of talent over there. You've got a lot of potential. You've got a ready-made star in Shea. You've got a ready-made guy in Lou Dort, Darius Baisley. You've got numerous guys. Add Kemba Walker to the mix, a great veteran presence. I like the fit. I also don't mind the idea of them trading him. Really, you can't lose if you're the Thunder because you got a first-round pick in result of getting rid of Al Horford's contract, which didn't you get a first-round pick absorbing it in the first place? Yeah, you did. Because, as I said at the start of the video, Sam Presti is... Yeah, you get the point. You get the point. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, this was late at night, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day. Catch you next time. Bye.